So back again for turn 7, which I already spoke about, could be the turn where we can start the invasion, but because we've got this escort in here, we're not going to be able to. So no point crying about spilt milk. We'll move on and then really hope we can get the invasion started turn 8. Or we really are in trouble. So the first thing on turn 7 is the weather. And it would just sum up if we get 11 or 12 and end up with gales and skip the turn. We haven't, so 5. So yet again, we've got fair weather. So we've been lucky with the weather so far. And we've got the SAS in play. So they move to the total exclusion zone. So we can use them this turn, which we're going to. If you remember back in the first video, I did say that I can't see any reason ever to not use the SAS as soon as possible so that you can get them back on the turn track. We can try to raid Argentina's exocets, but you only get it on a roll of 1. 2 of the others are combat. Or we can turn an Argentine Air Force Group O, or we can attempt to turn one over, but that would only last for 1 turn. Same thing, we need to get rid of that Picari unit, and it will help us if we can get rid of it as soon as possible. We can do it through the invasion, but it will really slow us down as we're moving. So what we're going to do with the SAS is try to raid Goose Green. So to get rid of the Picari unit, we need to roll a 1 or a 2, and it fails on a 2, 3 or a 4. And the SAS unit is used whether we succeed or fail, so really need a 1 or a 2 here. And it's a 3. So the Picari unit stays in place, the raid failed. The SAS unit, now we have a saving throw, which we roll 1 die, and then it moves forward on the turn track. So we want a low number here, and a 2, so that's not bad. So the SAS unit will be available again in turn 9. So it gives another chance at the Picari unit before the troops probably start to get there. Bearing in mind the very earliest we can invade is 8, and then they start to move from San Carlos on turn 9. So we've still got a chance with that. Now, for the first time, I'm going to use a diplomatic feint. We place the marker on the current turn box. So we place the diplomacy token, it's the first time we've seen this, on the current turn box. And we raise the BBC News number by 3 from 0. So it goes to 3. We'll need to start getting that up. And then we're on to the group host phase. So we're going to roll 2 dice to see where the mainland group hosts go, if anywhere. A 1 and a 3, so they do both go on the board in this case. So we've got 1 going there and 1 going there. Onto the task force phase. So what we've got available is an invincible carrier, the invincible carrier, and an escort. Now, do I risk, bearing in mind that the massive mistake I made in the last turn, when I didn't realise that if you had an escort with your carrier, they were protected. But we're in a mess, and I really need to try and get rid of as many as possible, so I can put an escort here, a Harrier, the Invincible with 3 Harriers there, to try and clear those 2 areas out. Or do I have the Invincible and the escort there and then have 2 goes at these? Bearing in mind, if I want to land, I need as little as possible in the A and B part. I'm going to go, in fact, it's more important to get rid of the A one, and that's slightly more chance. So, yes, it's risky, but we're in a mess. Big mess. So we're going to roll. I'm going to roll for the invincible first. 3 dice. Hopefully take out the 10th Grupo. I want 10 or more for this. 9, 10, 11, 12. So, Grupo retreats under British AA fire. So we'll place the Grupo in the mainland. And Argent move 1 random. Oh, I've got this again. Sorry, I've forgotten yet again. This is. I don't know if other people like this. There always seems to be one thing that I forget to do in virtually every game, and it seems to be in this one. It's forgetting to move these planes back into there. So. That one. And it's 6. Put that in there, so I've got rid of 1. Place the British ship in the repair box. Raise BBC News by +1. Slowly clawing it back. So now we're on to the escort attacking the 5th Grupo. I'd like more of the same if possible. 9, 10, 11. And we have got more of the same. It's in the 11 to 15 box. So again, Grupo in the mainland. Another one of these in the repair pool. Same type again. The BBC News goes forward again. And the escort goes into the repair box. So that went as well as it could have done, really. And we're now on to the Argentine air assets phase. Determine the target sector. You know by now, the target sector at the moment is E. So we roll 1 die to determine. I'm just knocking the cup over there. Which of these units, Grupos, will deploy first? So a 3, so it's sector C. So we're going to have 4 in C, 4 in D and 4 in E. D. Four in E. Just 1 left in the cup. At least we've got the number of Grupos down a little bit from when we had 8 on the board. We've only got 6 at the moment. Now we've got Harriers. Now we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 Harriers available. Hopefully you've started to get to understand a little bit about my thought process on this. Now I'm not saying my thought process is the right thing to do because it's not going well so far, but the ones that can potentially move, that one could move out in the roundel junta phase. None of those will move in that phase. 3 of those could move out the roundel phase, and then that could also move in the reaction phase. So I'm thinking the best bet to try and take them out is here, because that adds up to 19. So we're only going to be at 150, because they also get that bonus there. But none of these will come into this phase, so it's not going to be added to as we're moving about. Anything else? See, that one could move out of there, leaving it just 14. And there's 2 units, we'll bring it up to 22 as well. So I'm going to put the whole lot in there and hope we drop lucky and eliminate. It would be great to get a roll that will eliminate all 4 of those. Then we can get started rid of some planes, which we haven't been able to do. Let's roll to see if any of the Argentine roundel planes move. Got 5. Airplan T, Air Force Plan T. All roundel planes in East Falklands move to Air Sector A if there are British ground forces on the East Falkland map. There aren't. Otherwise, they move to the target air sector. So the roundels move here. All the others are already there. So the problem we've got is, I don't know if anybody else has twigged with this, if when we do come to battle here, these break off and are pursued, we're potentially in there, and there's an awful lot could come up at me in there, so that could be bad news, but got to give it a go. And let's, the other part is the Argentine reaction phase 2, which is Puerto Argentina, move all eligible planes to Sector E. Eligible plane, well this one is actually eligible in 2 ways, because if it's on the East Falkland maps but not in Air Sector A, E or the target sector, he's eligible, which would move him. He'd also be eligible as in it's an uncontested area, and we just leave the 2 weakest planes there, so that further makes that more of a nightmare if we do break off. So let's have a look. What ground support have they got here? There's just 1 ground force there, Argentinian ground force, and that moves up, gives them 3. So as we've already said, we've got 5 of our planes here, and that's 19 plus 3, 22. So we're at 35, they're at 22. So on the chart, we are at an advantage of 150%. So we 1 to 6. We need some luck. Let's see how we go. Let's have a 6. A 5. Well, a 5's not... is it? No, a 5 is. So a 5 is defender breaks off and we can pursue. The defender breaks off this way. Do we want to pursue? Because you've got a value there of 6 is 18. 27 plus the ground support will be 2. It will go up to there. 32, so we're 100%. But we need to get rid of some. Let's go for it. We're going to have a go. So that goes to there. We're at 100% here. We've just got the advantage, we've just. So again, I think we're going to want a 6. And we're not. We've got a 4. And a 4 is an exchange, which isn't bad, I don't think. That's count the number of aircraft strength points on each side in the battle. Ignore ground support. Well, we're on 35. They are on 10, 18, 27. So we have got the most strength points. The side with the lower total losses, side with the lower total losers, and is eliminated. So all 6 of these go in the repair box. Now, there is a little caveat. I'll leave them there for a reason, because they add up to, let's say, 27. The The winning side removes at least an equal number of aircraft SPs. The player chooses all losses. Argentine survivors must be Dundee or round up lines. Well, there isn't any. So I've got to lose, or not lose, they're going to the repair box, which remember is what it is by eliminating 27 points. Well, 4 of these add up to 28 points. So not great for us, but it's better for us than the Argentinians, because they, the way it's going at the moment, they're going to lose 2 planes permanently. And that's the end of the air combat. So we have air superiority in sector C, because we've still got one there. A, B and D are vacant, and E is the Argentinians. No ground phase. Not quite yet anyway. Hopefully we can start to put that right. No invasion phase yet. Because we didn't have both escorts available, we couldn't start the invasion. And reset. So any British stack, we've got British stacks. Any group O's which were flipped, there wasn't any. All units in the repair box now move back to the exclusion zone. So all these are back, and also these planes. And we now roll for the Argentinian ships. Can't get double again surely, because we've done it twice in a row now. No, we can't. So they go into 6 and a 4. So we can't attack those next turn. What also starts to come into play once we've got ground forces is if there are Argentine ships at sea, we have to flip 1 stack of British ground units in a camp onto the outer supply side, which I'll just show you while we're talking. All these units, you can see that there, have an out of supply side. It doesn't affect this turn, but it very soon will do. So now we're on to the Argentine parts shortage. If there are currently more than 3 Argentine planes in the repair pool, select the lowest strength unit. The lowest strength unit is this one here, this 2, value 2, 1. So that one is discarded. Try again, if possible. Well, it is. And we've got 4 A4 planes, the value of 4. So we've got 4 of those are discarded. British crew advantage, so we can always move 1 back automatically. But because it's fair weather, all the rest go back. So we get all our planes back, which is good news. And these 6 go back into the pot. There we go. Political factors. Now this does matter for the first time. Remove the Pope and the diplomacy marker if they're in the current turn record track box. So that is removed. And I was right what I was talking about earlier, then again what I think is gamey, that you can, if you haven't got your ground forces out, there doesn't seem to be any negative part of having that on the board. So in the early part of the game you can play that every turn and you get +3 each turn, which seems to me a little bit gamey. But I think, unless anybody corrects me on that, I think that would be within the rules. Now, news headlines, and let's hope for some nice news headlines here. I think it's quite vital we get some. And we've got a 2. So a 2 to be added. So we're be on phases because we've got the same list as last time. We're on the 8 or 9 list, which isn't too bad for us. Switch out quite a lot of that. So the first one, no, it's not. It wasn't bad. It's not good enough. Anyway, let me explain without just doing it in my head. The first one is Sidewinder, which I don't think will have any effect. Ground-based Harriers are modified to carry US-built Sidewinder air-to-air missiles at sea. Roll a die and move that many face-up Harriers on Ascension Island to the exclusion zone, as long as their corresponding carrier is not sunk. Well, we haven't got any. We've already got them in play. We've lost the Invincibles, and they are turned over until we get to turn 11. So it doesn't help us. USS Iwo Jima, this can only happen once. It's already happened. Iwo Jima is on the turn track. We're waiting to get that. We've still got 4 turns to go. And then the other 3 aren't great headlines for us. Collision, roll 1 die. On a 6, remove 1 Harrier from the game. It's been lost at sea. Otherwise, we'll put 1 in the repair pool. Oh. And so we've lost another Harrier. So we take that one, and that's out of the game. So the bad luck continues to mount. Or am I just blaming bad luck because I'm not playing very well? Possibly that. BBC leaks the MOD secrets. So if there's a 6 rolled, we have to move 1 British ship to the repair box. Now we don't want it to be an escort because I need both escorts available to land, to help with the landing in San Carlos. So we are rolling 1 die. Don't be a 6. And it is a 6. Now I need to get the escorts. I need to have them in play. How do I delay the landing for a turn? Probably not the right thing to do because I know what a difficult it is anyway, but I'm going to delay the landing, so I'm going to move an escort there. So we're not going to be landing in turn 8 either. Am I doing the right thing? You see, when I land as well, I need air superiority. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that, even though I doubt the sense of what I've been doing. And then finally, the Wets undermine Mrs. Thatcher. Moderate elements in the cabinet challenge Thatcher on Falklands policy. Subtract 3 from BBC News. So we're back down to a 2, which is not great. Then any units on the board, that's all the headlines done. Any units on the table, put back. Be interesting to hear a few comments about what I've just done with the escort. I think, you know, once we've lost the carrier, I think winning the game is very, very unlikely now. But I'd just like to see what other people have done. Would you have kept the escort there and tried to land, or would you have done what I've just done? Must be some players far more experienced than me who can give me a bit of a heads up on that, on their opinion. But anyway, that's the end of turn 7. It's still looking very good for Argentina at the minute. We'll get straight on to turn number 8. That will probably get turn 8 done. I mean, I was hoping that turn 7 was going to be start the invasion, and that's where we started this video. It looks like the next video is when the invasion starts, because we really do need to get going. Let's have the weather for turn 8. And it's a 6, and yet again we have fair weather. The SAS will be back in play next turn, so we can have another go at that. So we're straight onto the Group O's phase. We've got 4 Group O's on the mainland. Let's roll to see where they are. 4 and a 3. Now we have got luck there, because 4 and a 3, we can't put any of those out. So we've got a chance to get rid of 2 here. And what I'm going to do, and I've just realised that I've been going with the wrong ones. It not really make any difference. Just swapping those over. So yeah, I've made a mistake. When I got rid of the carrier, I took all of the invincible Harriers off, and I left the Hermes. Now the Hermes and the invincible, they're the same value. There's no difference between one or the other, so it hasn't changed gameplay in any way, but it is a mistake I've made. It should have I should have done it the other way, but we'll carry on with that. So it's the Hermes that we're going with, and I'm going to try and take out both of them. So for the first time I'm actually doing it the right way, with an escort on the carrier. Okay, so we're going to roll 3 dice. Nice high score needed. 9, 10. And because I said it was the carrier, that works well. Because it's the carrier, we still get everything. Actually, I've missed something out, so I'm just going to drop back to something. If the carrier is firing, we do, whereas if it was just the escort, there'd be no effect. Now, what I missed off was the opportunity to play the diplomacy in the last phase, so I'm going to do that now. So we put that on the game turn, and the BBC News goes up by 3. That's me rushing things, and I'll start to miss stuff. That's the diplomatic feint. So on with this. So the Hermes, we move 1 grouper back to the mainland. We increase the news by 1. We take 1 plane, it's the Ace unit, which is good, into the repair pool, and the Hermes goes into the repair box. Now we've got the escort. So with the escort we need 11 or more. A 10 wouldn't have been good enough for the escort to fight the group off. And we've got a 12. So it's as good as we could do with what we've... So pretty much the same thing. Actually, another mistake. I just increased the BBC on the last one. There's no effect on the BBC from the previous one, so that will go back. But because we've just done that, it does go up by 1, so we're now right. That group also we've cleared out for now. That and the escort goes into the repair box, and we put 1 other unit into the repair pool. So decent. We're down to 4 group O's at the moment, which is a positive, and we've got a few positives to the moment. So onto the Argentine air assets. The target sector indicates which air sector is considered strategically important. Wait, we're on E again. By this time you know we're on it. And we're going to roll to see which of these goes first. If you can see that. It's either this one on D or this one's on E. So, make a lot of difference because we'll be deploying planes to cover both of them anyway. 3. So it's there, so the first one is D. So we're going to pick 4 planes. First to go on sector D. And then we're going to pick 4 planes to go on sector E. So where do we put our 5 planes? A value of 35. It's got to be DOE because we need to try and take some planes out, but if we put them in E, there's a big chance that these 3, or there's a chance these 3 could end up in there as well. If we put them here, we could lose that. I'd like to be able to take out more than 1. We've also got the chance that we could end up having to break off and be pursued into there, but it's the only way to do it. So we've got 5 units here. I don't know why I'm putting him in C. I think I'm battle weary now today. I think this will be the last turn of the day. I'll finish it off tomorrow. Right, so the junta plan. So this is for the roundel planes. Let's see where they move, if anywhere. I probably don't want to move them any. I want them to be where they stay as they are will probably give me the best chance. So Navy plan. Naval Admiral Anaya acquiesces in the current plan, leave Argentine planes where they are. So we have got a chance of taking out 4 planes, which would then mean 6 in the repair pool. I'm getting in front of myself here, but 6 in the repair pool, and we can take 2 out at the end of the turn. So the Argentine reaction then is going to be irrelevant. It's a 1. Puerto Argentino, move all eligible planes to sector E. Well, the only planes that can be eligible are those in non-contested sector, which are those in E already, so nothing moves. So we're on to the battle. And we know we've got 35. Let's have a look at the ground support they've got. In sector D, they've only got 1 ground force, so they only have 3 added to that. We've got 10, 16, 25, 28. So we haven't got enough. We need 42 to be at 150%. So we're only at 100%. And let's see what we can do with this roll. So 100%, really a 4 or a 6. 4 or 6 would be the best options. Possibly defender break off and pursuit, because then we have another go, because they'd disappear this way and we could chase after them. So let's see what we get. So 4 or above will be required, and it's a 4. So a 4, although we're going to lose some to the repair pool, it's a bit better for us, is an exchange, same as last time. So they lose, well, first of all, sorry, we add up scores, and we know what the score's going to be. So these add up to 25, we're on 35, so whoever's got the lowest total loses, and these go to the repair pool. Things are slightly looking up for us these last couple of turns, so maybe I did the right thing by delaying again. Maybe not. And then what we have to do, so they were 25, we have to lose to the repair pool to the value of 25 or above. So I'm going to keep 1, so 1 will stay there because we've got 30. These add up to 28, these 4, so these will go into the repair pool as well. So they should come back next turn. I don't think there's any event that will stop that. So we've done that. Air superiority, again, it's fairly quiet in most sectors. The British have got superiority in D, Argentinians in E. Ground war phase, unfortunately it's not on yet, so we skip that again. Logistics invasion phase, well, the landing at San Carlos, unfortunately as well, is not on. Needs to be that turn, next turn. So then we get to reset any group posts which are flipped. There isn't any. All units in the repair box here, the trailer box, move back to the exclusion zone. So we've got 3 back. And the air units move back as well. And the Argentine warships are on the map, so we roll 2 dice for them to see where they end up. Yeah, I'll roll them both again. I don't know what they have. A 6 and a 3. Bogdano's already in 6. So, at the moment, there's no planes, no groups there, so that's not really affecting us. So as long as we don't roll a 3 or a 6, it's not going to hurt us there. Let's look at the Argentine part shots. This is good stuff for us. So we know they've got more than 3 in the repair box. The lowest numbered one, now we have to avoid roundels or Donadie units. They can only be selected if they are the only ones available. Now we can get rid of a good strength point one here, because the first one is this one, it's A4, which is a value of 4. Then when we try again with the second one, they've all either got roundels or, if you can see that, the only one that hasn't is this one, which is a value of 11. So that was fairly successful. Now we've now got rid of 5 of their planes, which is quite good. As you've seen, there's some headline phases actually bring some back. So from there we've done that. British crew advantage, we can bring 1 back, but it's fair weather, so they all come back. So these ones drop back in. So as you can see, they've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they've got 4 on the board. So they've only got 11, which is good news for us. And these Harrier units come back on. So we've done that. Political factors, remove the diplomacy marker. That goes off. That'll be going back on again straight away next turn, because double check it doesn't stop the invasion, but it doesn't. I'll check that beforehand. And then we're on to the headline phase again. Let's see what roll we get. A 1. So yet again, we've got the same list. A lot of them don't apply anymore, so it was the same list as last time. So the Sidewinders, there's no Harriers in the Ascension, so none coming up. USS Iwo Jima, already done. So that's happened. Then we've got the collision. So we don't want a 6, because if we have a 6, the Harrier has gone for good. And we haven't. We've got a 1. So it's not great, because we have to put a Harrier in the repair pool, but it's better than losing it for good. BBC leaks the MOD secrets. So again, we don't want a 6, because if we have a 6, a ship's going to have to go in there, and I think this time I would have to make it the Hermes, because I need to get those. I need to get the ground forces landed. And it's a 2, so that's okay. No effect on that. And the final one, the Wets undermine Mrs. Thatcher. We seem to take 3 forward every time with the diplomacy. And then the moderate elements challenge the PM, and we subtract 3. So we're slightly better off. We started this turn on the BBC News on 2. I managed to get it up to 3. Still not great. So, final bit of housekeeping. I've only got one of our Harriers on the board there. That comes back in the exclusion zone. And there's 4 other planes over sector E, the Argentinian ones. So they go back into the mainland cup. And that concludes turn 8. So we go on to turn 9. We'll have the SAS unit available next turn. Really hope not to have bad weather. We are rolling on a different turntable next turn. In fact, I should have done it. Did I roll wrong? So there again, another mistake there, possibly. I can't remember what I rolled. I can't remember whether it was a 5 or a 6 or a 4. I think I looked at turn 1 to 7, where it's fair is 4 to 6. Turn 8 to 15, I should have been on that one. Which 5 and 6, but I'm not sure without looking back at what I rolled. But anyway, too late to worry about that. It's a tester game anyway, so it's not going brilliantly. So I don't think it'll be a matter of win or lose over that one part. But yeah, we'll have the SAS unit back on. Depending on the weather, desperate to land the invasion fleet next turn. That's what we're looking at. So thank you for watching, and I will be back very soon with turn 9.